Previously on Millennial Milquetoast.
You got all of these tapes in the last year?
So that is my stock. It's time to pray. And pray is spelled P-R-E-Y. A blockbuster in 2024. And now, the continuation. I want to emphasize, I'm doing this in part because I've been dragging my ass on going through all these tapes and evaluating which ones am I keeping, which ones are part of my collection, which are ones that I'm going to resell or turn into crafts. And one of the things that I've deduced is that if I don't organize them, it's really easy for me to just continue acting like I need to acquire more, when what I really need to do is parse through them, jettison a bunch, and start enjoying the ones that I actually want. We're going to jump right in. I have a lot of tapes that generally came from estate sales, garage sales, and whatnot. All right. Okay, we just got a grab bag of tapes. One of these is a pilot for a Sci-Fi Channel TV series called VR5. I've never heard of VR5, but, however, it has Giles from Buffy, so did buy. Then we got a movie I've always wanted to see, Sidekicks, starring, of course, Chuck Norris, but more importantly, Jonathan Brandis. Iconic 90s actor. We got this really weird looking movie called Boy Wonders with a Z, and it cracked me up because the first time I saw it, I looked up this movie and I typed it as Boy Wonder 2 because that's what it looks like. And then I realized it's Boy Wonders, and it's kind of in the tradition of The Suburbans, a flop starring Jennifer Love Hewitt and Will Ferrell. It's just, but it looks a lot worse. It looks like if The Suburbans was a movie about 98 Degrees or something like that. So I couldn't resist. I gotta, this is an exercise in self-reflection. Not the most fun one at times when I realize I bought Boy Wonders. Welcome to Hollywood. This is a movie with a ton of celebrity cameos, according to the back. This guy who got a movie made with a lot of his connections and having cameos from people. And I just never heard of it. And it says, in the tradition of Spinal Tap. Well, we'll see. Dramas. We got Midway and we got Quiet Thunder. Quiet Thunder, I want to watch it because it looks awesome. And if it's a wicked blast, I'll keep it. Honestly, I anticipate probably only keeping in the end Sidekicks and VR5. These are going to go into my collection, but I don't anticipate keeping them. They'll go in my to-watch section. Star Wars 2, Attack of the Clones, kind of a silly purchase. I have all of the Star Wars films on VHS. I even have a pretty cool widescreen copy of Episode 1, and I think I found this for super cheap and decided why not. I may as well have a pan and scan copy of Star Wars Attack of the Clones. It's impossible to get an American copy of Star Wars 3 on VHS. It just missed the cutoff. It was exclusively DVD. Some people go to the effort of picking up a Pacific region copy because it was released anyway. It's more a shelf piece than something I'll actually watch. You know what? I talked myself out of Attack of the Clones. It's going in stock, and I'll tell you why. From day one, I have had a DVD copy of this film in widescreen. I still have it, and in addition to that, I have a Blu-ray copy of the film. I will never watch this, and it's better for me to either resell it, cannibalize it for a project, or just donate it than for me to hang on to it. Just in the realm of horror, it's really rare to see a really nice copy of any Nightmare on Elm Street, so it's hard for me to pass it up. This one I'm really excited about. This is Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. It's a TV special and performance of various songs, and I really love that album, Welcome to My Nightmare. I got a stack of horror. I talked about Kevin Williamson a while ago, and this is basically a Kevin Williamson haul. It's just an amazing amount of Kevin Williamson films that I happened upon. We got I Know What You Did Last Summer. We got good old Scream. We got Scream 2. And we got the lesser-known Teaching Mrs. Tingle, which incidentally was also directed by Kevin Williamson. I already have I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, but I checked while I was off camera, and he did not co-write or wasn't really involved in that one. So for what it's worth, mileage varies on this guy's era, but this was just a really cool set of tapes. I'm pretty fond of the Scream films. I'm pretty fond of Teaching Mrs. Tingle. All right, now here is a bunch of kids type stuff. One of these, like Casper: A Spirited Beginning, I just really want to rewatch it. One of these spooky seasons, maybe watch it after I watch the OG Casper. Power Rangers tape, and it's Bloom of Doom, and it features Kimberly as the primary figure of the episode. I adore Kimberly. She was one of my favorites. I had the pleasure of taking a picture with Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank. I attended a panel of theirs at Denver Pop Culture Con, and I even got to ask a question. I asked her about the movie Susie Q, which is one of the other things that I adore from this performer in this time. Those are basically the two things, is Power Rangers and Susie Q. Growing up, they were just some formative media for me. I also got a couple Pokemon tapes. I did find this anime called The Slayers, and it's like movie length. This is just a beautiful set. It's X-Men Night of the Sentinels. Whoever designed this tape went the extra mile and really filled it out with Marvel Comics design and imagery. And so it really feels like you're picking up a comic book VHS almost. Beautiful shelf piece. Could make a fantastic lamp, particularly with this red label. We got a movie called Two Bits and Pepper. It's a horse movie. I've really focused in on 90s animal movies. I have an entire tote just filled with these things, and there's various categories, and it's gotten to the point where I find these obscure made-for-TV ones that seem, they're probably not great, but you never know. There's a certain quality to animal movies made in the 1990s. The Day of the Dolphin, which is kind of a weird thriller. Speaking of animal movies, I got this in partial interest because it's like an old school animal movie about George C. Scott making friends with a dolphin that's been turned into some kind of weapon. It's got shades of Project X, the Matthew Broderick chimpanzee VR flight simulator radiation movie. And so, if that's your jam, you might be like, whoa, Day of the Dolphin, where have you been all my life? I have a few of these. Whenever I find them, I usually buy them. This is Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater. This one is The Tale of the Frog Prince, starring none other than Robin Williams. This one looks amazing. It's also got Renee Auberjonois, and it's executive produced by Shelley Duvall, who ran this series, and it's written and directed by Eric Idle. I do have a couple more of these floating around. It's got a gatefold, and I don't know why whoever owned it before me sealed it shut. Stand by. Now, you always cut away from yourself. That's in case you didn't know that. Okay. How cute. It's got a whole breakdown of the story and the cast and the adaptation. That is beautiful. That's a cute little feature. Speaking of, like, fairy tales and whatnot, I found a movie from my childhood. This one goes straight to, like, the movies from my childhood section. This is A Simple Wish, starring Martin Short and Mara Wilson, right? Yes. Starring Martin Short, Mara Wilson, Kathleen Turner. This movie is a delight. It's a fantasy film about a girl who gets a fairy godmother that is played by Martin Short. There's not a whole lot to it. He's kind of a bumbling fairy tale or fairy godmother. Maybe it's a camp classic. I don't know. I haven't seen it since I was like 9. So this was just a wicked fun one to spot in such good shape. Just a few like prestige type films. We'll start with here. Not the most prestigious films, but these are pretty good movies as far as I'm concerned. We got Lethal Weapon director's cut, and then we got Easy Rider, just a beautiful RCA copy of it with that red border. This was a bad idea. It's a pan and scan. I already have the DVD. I even have another VHS pan and scan of it. That's the original with better artwork that doesn't say director's cut. Like, why do I want the director's cut if it's pan and scan? It's just hard. Sometimes I end up buying a film that I realize later on that this was a really redundant purchase. And I'm really trying to move away from that. And so pointing it out helps me. This is beautiful, but I don't want it. So it's on the way out as well. Let's see here. We got Far and Away. Now, I think I actually may already have a copy of this. But one thing that I make exceptions for is widescreen VHS tapes. They are such a rarity. It's one of my favorite things to look for. I do feel that widescreen VHS, out of many of the other types of VHS somebody can get, they are going to retain at least some value and resellability, because a lot of them, like this Lethal Weapon, like it's hard to give it away when you start to actually parse out like who is it for at this point, given the other options. A couple other widescreen films. We got The Exorcist. This is really sweet. It comes in a clamshell. It's the theatrical cut, which is neat because I have the extended cut on DVD, I want to say. And so this is kind of cool if you want to watch the original. Look at the ARC sticker. Michael Douglas in The Game, directed by David Fincher. Yet another film that is a David Fincher film on VHS, released in widescreen, and this one is so low-key about it. It's not even like a special color or a band. It's just in this light gold font that is easy to see, don't get me wrong, but still, it's pretty subtle. It just says widescreen, and when you pull it out, it says The Game, and then in parentheses it says widescreen. It doesn't have the square that says this film is in its original aspect ratio. It doesn't even give you that. Okay, so now I have Panic Room and The Game, widescreen. We got a couple spicy movies. We got this looks ridiculous. It's Dream a Little Dream 2. I have not seen Dream a Little Dream 1, so I don't think I would understand it. Maybe I could read the novel and that would help me, but it's a sequel to Dream a Little Dream. It's got, very pretty lady in her underwear on the cover, and it's got the Coreys looking goofy. This is called Crimes of passion. And it's a Ken Russell film, and if you know a little bit about Ken Russell, you know it's probably pretty fun. I don't know. Art house thirst trap, I guess? I don't know. It looks like a sexy movie. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, there you go. There I go. Because I bought it and I'll be the one watching it. It's an amazing film, according to Rex Reed. And that's good enough for me. Put those two spicy flicks next to Body Double. It's a match made in heaven. We got Stallone in First Blood. The artwork is phenomenal. I was trying to come up with a couple of examples of why it's so cool. This copy of Beverly Hillbillies, this was in the tote, but one of those images where they took a photograph and then they photoshopped it or superimposed it upon another photograph. So we got the group photo of the Beverly Hillbillies, but then we got the blue sky and the palm trees. And clearly they're two different images. This is the poster for the movie, so they did a really good job. Now, let's contrast it, though, with King Kong Lives. I mean, look at this. The King Kong figure was superimposed over this backdrop of New York City, and it just looks so copy and paste. As far as pan and scans go, it's got to have amazing artwork. It's got to look like a tape that maybe I picked up in 1986, even though I wasn't alive in 1986. It's got to feel that way. Some people, they look at it more like, hey, I want to watch King Kong Lives. Boom. Now I can, which is also a good way to look at it. It's a funny movie. Okay, now I've done a little tentative research and I've tried to sketch out what I consider the eras of VHS. I would say that from 1976, when VHS came out, until the early 1980s, and take your pick, there's a lot of different releases. I would say early VHS is roughly from 1976 to maybe 1983. But this is an example of how early VHS can distinguish itself. So we have an oversized box. It's thicker than an actual tape. One of the things that they use that for is it's got this cardboard drawer that the movie comes in. And the label's falling off. This is kind of cool. The plastic is blue. This is a CBS Fox release of The Black Stallion Returns. One of the things that I think is really cute is you can take this drawer, you can slide it into this sleeve, and I think this is why this sleeve was designed. It was designed to accommodate both beta tapes and VHS, because this drawer could be customized. And on this little red line, it says VHS. When you pop this in, there's a little window, and on the side it says VHS. This is like very old. This is when VHS was competing with beta tapes. Just to add to that, here's another early VHS. This is a big box, a lot of people call them. They're really big, hence the name, and they usually are silver. They're made of cardboard, and if you open them, the tape is situated in this little plastic like holder. It pops out. This one's falling apart. I just need to tape it. They fold back together. It looks worse than it is. I was at a pawn shop called Pasternak's on Colfax in Colorado. Okay, this is a pretty cool pawn shop. I think it's in Aurora, I want to say. It's in Aurora on Colfax, Pasternak's pawn shop. It may or may not still be there, but it had a lot of character, really good place. I was in there, and I ended up finding some Laserdiscs, and they had this movie, Trancers. Trancers is a fantastic film. It's Terminator meets Blade Runner, maybe with a little sprinkling of Christmas kind of Die Hard energy. This is a fantastic B-movie. It's also a really fun genre Christmas movie. So I was pleasantly surprised when I got this. And then, shortly after I found it, I was shopping it for VHS tapes, and I ended up finding Trancers 2 and 3 in a VHS collecting group, I believe. And so I ended up ordering these from another VHS collector online. I don't usually buy a lot online, but there was a period there where I was trying to fill things out or just kind of taking a shortcut to the tapes that I was like hungry for. So I bought all three. I did end up mainlining the whole trilogy one day and had a really fun time doing it. So these were all movies I got years ago, though. If we fast forward a little to 2024, somebody in one of the VHS groups posted these among other tapes. This is Trancers 4 and 5. And so we have the entire Trancers saga on physical media. And just as a roundup, we got Trancers, Trancers 2, The Return of Jack Death. We got Trancers 3, Death Lives, Trancers 4, Jack of Swords, and Trancers 5, Sudden Death. You know, I love my parents, and I think that they've made a lot of good decisions in their lives. But, you know, I have to question. And it was November 11th, 1994, when I was but 4 years old. You know, my parents could have gone to Tower Records and they could have bought Trancers 5, Sudden Death. Let's see how long it is. This is a 73-minute long movie. 73 minutes. And at Tower Records in 1994 dollars, you could buy this tape for $89.95 for more than $1 a minute. Still, I gotta question the wisdom. I feel like they could have bought that instead of, you know, worrying about food. This is the Trancers collection. Moving a little quick, we got Warriors of Virtue, 90s movie that's very fantastical and magical. I have never seen it. It looks bonkers, and this copy was in just immaculate condition. This is Where the Heart Is. This movie is notorious to those who know. This is the Natalie Portman Had a Kid at Walmart movie. I cannot wait. A soccer dog in awful shape. It goes in the animal movies. We got Story of Us. I've been trying to pick up Bruce Willis films that I'm less familiar with. You know what? I think I do remember this film. This is one of those movies that I was not sure if I remembered it. You know, movies like the late 90s Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Pinocchio, The Borrowers with John Goodman, that movie with Martin Short, A Simple Wish. It's a very like late 90s fantasy. It's really hard to describe, and I don't remember this movie necessarily, but like I looked at it and I kept saying to myself, have I seen this? And so this is one of those movies that I might watch and it might like really blow up like memories, or I'll watch it and be like, oof, you know, you can't go back. Maybe I caught this on Saturday morning, but Saturday morning is where it ought to have stayed. A couple Gen X in your face movies. Pump Up the Volume. If you know, you know. Pump Up the Volume freaking rules. Talk hard. Then we got Mark Harmon in Summer School, more commonly known as, you know, Jethro Gibbs on NCIS. Now here's a few special editions. We got one of these Fox widescreens. This is My Fair Lady, starring Audrey Hepburn. Then we got Annie Get Your Gun, a special edition Warner Brothers version of that. I do not believe it's widescreen. Wyatt Earp, a Lawrence Kasdan Wyatt Earp film. And then we got a widescreen copy of Saving Private Ryan. Later VHS tape releases, they start to really go all out on the special features. This Annie Get Your Gun has multiple special features, kind of enrich the experience of watching it. You also get widescreen. Another pretty cool one. I avoided buying this for the longest time because I know that it's a pan and scan, but one of the things that I've struggled with is what the actual aspect ratio was at the time. So I'm not sure if the pan and scan is as rough of a transfer as, like, say something that was like filmed in CinemaScope. It additionally comes with a certificate of ownership. This is number 097688. It's got like a whole deed And then it's got a booklet with an official program, rather. And then it's got, of course, the 2 tapes. Quite the set. Pretty cool, I think. This is going a lot longer than I anticipated. I kind of feel like it's feel like I bit off more than I could chew. I feel like my viewers are going to feel like they bit off more than they can watch. That's okay. We're just going to keep on trucking. Few clamshells. These are their own beasts. They take up a lot of shelf space. Starting with So Little Time, Volume 1, School's Cool. It's a Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen kind of late career TV show, and this is the first 4 episodes. Emphasizes the America Online connection. That's how big America Online was they co-sponsored a whole ass TV show. I'm sure emails are crucial to a plot line or two. Pete's Dragon. This is just one of those old school Disney tapes. White background, Walt Disney logo with Mickey on the top. It's a whole aesthetic. It's a whole vibe. A couple goof ones. These are Xena and Hercules, the animated movie. I'm currently watching Xena, and eventually I'm going to want to watch this. Then we got good old Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet, it's a really cool movie, and it gets sidelined a lot. Unfairly so, I think. I think it's got a lot to offer. I would dare say Treasure Planet, on a whole, is a better movie than Atlantis: The Lost Empire, which pains me because I love the art style of Atlantis: The Lost Empire. I love the premise. I love the cast, but there is something missing in that movie. There is some spark that just ain't there, and it breaks my heart every time. The coolest clamshells from this time. We got Invisible Mom. This is one of those like tape only type movie. It's a movie about an invisible mom. What can I say? It's got Dee Wallace Stone, who I believe is she's the mom in E.T. and she's also in The Frighteners. Wow. And then this was a shock. This one really blew me away. I do not usually get this excited about a Disney animated VHS. I have seen thousands of Disney clamshell tapes, okay? Thousands. It is so rare to run into a widescreen copy. This is the first time I ever saw it. It's got some special features. It says includes 22 minutes of bonus programming, Once Upon a Dream, Making of Sleeping Beauty, original trailer, a rare dance sequence featuring Helen Stanley, the model for Sleeping Beauty, as aired on the Mickey Mouse Club in 1956. Beautiful artwork even on the back. Really cool image choice of the dragon. And it's a widescreen image, so it just really emphasizes that. I am delighted to have found this, and I cannot wait to add it to my clamshell shelf that has all my like Disney movies and stuff on it. In a movie I've never heard of, If Looks Could Kill, and it says it's a head-on collision between James Bond and Indiana Jones. Zany fun. This is on that Warner Brothers imprint. We got The Rundown, phenomenal The Rock film. Where did this come out? 2004. This is from like the decline of VHS. You know, when you're talking about 2004, 4 years after the PlayStation 2 has come out, this is one of the last movies released on VHS that I own, and that was probably why I bought it. Okay, we also got Joyride. Now, this is a pan and scan, but this one really goes the extra mile. It includes the 96-minute theatrical cut. After the movie includes a 29-minute alternate ending. Not just a new ending, but a whole new movie, according to the little hype. And then we got Hardcore. This movie looks so freaking ridiculous. You know, like if they remade this, they should remake this with Christopher Maloney, and he would nail it. Babysitter's Club, not something I would usually grab. However, this is a climate change themed one. It is called Dawn Saves the Trees, and I remember the just amazing amount of climate change kids media from when I was a kid in the 90s, and it just takes me back. Like Nickelodeon's The Big Help, you may remember. And Nickelodeon did like a whole Earth Day thing almost every year. And Rocco's Modern Life had this really catchy song about recycling. And so anyway, this just really tickled me. And it'll probably go with that like utopian scholastic stuff I was talking about, like the more educational things. We got McHale's Navy. This is a part of a pretty fun era of comedy films. Sergeant Bilko, McHale's Navy, and Down Periscope, they all came out close to each other, and they're all very similar. They feature like a veteran comedy figure playing off of a bunch of smaller characters that are like eccentric personalities. It's got French Stewart, Bruce Campbell, David Alan Grier. It's a pretty cool movie. It's even got Tim Curry, one of the many movies Tim Curry did in the 90s. Yeah, so this is going to go next to Down Periscope. And this is Explorers. This is a Joe Dante film. It's the special new version of Explorers supervised by the director. I don't know what that means. I would assume that any home video release after this is this special version. But nonetheless, it's a pretty cool little set, and I think that I found a DVD of this at some point, a widescreen one, and so ultimately I chose to pick that up, and that kind of leaves this in a bad position, so it'll end up in stock. Addams Family Values. And then we got the creature feature Arachnophobia. I have been thrifting for years, and this is one of the creepiest movies I have ever found. The Treehouse Trolls is pure nightmare fuel. You may look at it and think that it looks innocent enough, but when you turn it around and look at some of this imagery, live action trolls, a live action musical voyage to a land of enchantment. It's in like the top 5 worst looking things on VHS that I own. It's an accomplishment. Ski School 2. Ski School 1 is like, what if Porky's was less classy and it was at a ski resort? It's kind of the question that the Ski School franchise asks. What if Revenge of the Nerds was a little less classy and it was at a ski resort? Think you're picking up on a pattern. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia did a pretty fun riff on the Ski School franchise, acted as a really fun takedown of the tropes of the Ski School franchise, such as it is. Okay, these 2 tapes I found at a place called Scavenged Goods. This is on Colfax Avenue in Denver. It's a pretty dope little tiny condensed vintage store where they have like tapes, they have records, they have vintage tees, vintage ads, just general stuff like my kind of jam, the kind of stuff you're seeing me present. They had this Barbarians movie. It just looks absolutely unhinged. I mean, these guys look like they could like pick up the moon and throw it if they really wanted to, like not metaphorically. Like I think they've done the push-ups necessary to accomplish that feat. And then this is such a goofy video, but I couldn't resist. It's Day 51, the true story of Waco. How true that is, I do not know because I haven't watched it. It was cool to find basically a conspiracy theory tape. Like this was probably something that somebody sold, like at like a convention or in the mail, and so it's dubious. Nonetheless, it's a fascinating document of the mid-90s, and so yeah, check them out. Scavenged Goods on Colfax. A couple of movies from my childhood. We got Home Alone 3. A lot of people give this movie a lot of grief. I understand. Home Alone 2 isn't exactly the greatest sequel. I said it. It's got moments, but Home Home Alone 3 is very much in the same boat, I think. It's not perfect, but it has moments. I was actually looking at it and I had no idea. Screenplay by John Hughes. So that's a late John Hughes screenplay. Then we got Leave It to Beaver, this personal favorite of mine. This is of an era. It's a remake of a 50s TV show, but recontextualized into the 90s. Beaver and his brother get a personal computer, and, you know, hilarity ensues as they do not appreciate and or understand the value of said computer, and so on. It's got some funny moments. I haven't seen it since I was a kiddo. It's very much like a companion piece to Dennis the Menace, Brady Bunch. Now this is going to be a little mystery that I'm going to start in this video, and then it's going to be solved in the 2025 haul video. It's going to be very exciting. Now there is a movie that I remember. It's a movie where a dad is struggling to impress his kid, and it's like he wants to be like the cool dad, and he's really struggling to do that. It's not Man of the House. I'm gonna give you a freebie right out of the gate. It's not Man of the House. I love it, but it's not. So I was looking for this movie because I remembered a couple scenes in it. I remembered a scene where it was like, oh, they're at a camp and they're doing a competition of some kind. It's not heavyweights. I repeat, it's not heavyweights. So they're doing this competition, and that's all I really remembered. I remembered they were like going to camp at night, and maybe they like rode a boat to camp. Like I remembered imagery, and I did find it recently, but both of these movies were bought honestly just because I thought they were that movie. So we start with Getting Even with Dad, movie I never saw. I don't know. You know, Macaulay Culkin as a mischievous kid. It's just so on the nose, and Ted Danson as the dad. I don't know. This might be like a perfect movie. It might blow my mind, but boy, I get the idea that it's just a little too easy. And sometimes movies that are too easy, they take it for granted and they don't try to earn it with good dialogue or good acting or characterizations. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm just throwing all kinds of shade at Getting Even with Dad. I'm so sorry, Howard Deutsch. Rise above it. Rise above it. Okay. And much in the same vein, I ended up buying a movie called Just Like Dad. Now, I'm pretty sure that I did see this movie, and I'm pretty sure I did like this movie. So I'm looking forward to watching it, but it was not the movie I was thinking of. So anyway, I got both of those. I will probably watch Getting Even with Dad once, and I'll watch Just Like Dad, and it'll lead up to the movie that I told you I was looking for. You know, you gotta stay tuned. Now, amongst all these different trips and all these different things, I did get a number of DVDs. And one thing I noticed as 2024 went on, I found myself pushed a little bit more towards the DVDs because I wanted some of the special features. At the end of the day, I'm not going to find a widescreen VHS or a widescreen Laserdisc of every movie that I like. I don't honestly want to. DVDs and Blu-rays are, as far as space saving goes, the best bet. And so I started to allow myself to purchase more DVDs. I found this horror movie, The Tomb. And it says it's The Mummy Meets the Temple of Doom. Sounds like fun to me. And it's like a made-for-TV film type movie. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. A lot of the time, direct to video or made for TV stuff sometimes was made for like a low budget theatrical release, and then they just kind of, you know, shuffle it off to a different style of release, the same way streaming does nowadays. We got Cyborg 2, same deal. It's just a genre movie. Looks fun, looks dumb. All right, then we got a series of kids movies, one of which I regret buying so much. I'm kind of obsessed a little bit with like horrific early CGI. It's a CGI movie made by Lionel Trains. It's called Destination Adventure. Much like that Troll movie, disturbing. It's of an era. Not a good one. I probably won't watch this. Zathura, I never saw it. I was very cynical about this movie when it came out, but now that it's got some years on it, I look back and say, hey, why not? Like, this might actually be a fun watch. Got Whale Rider. Now, this isn't a VHS, and it's not a 90s animal movie. However, I feel that as I start to catalog animal movies of the 90s, that Whale Rider will stand as a very good bookend type movie. So I picked it up, and I'm looking forward to watching it immensely. Got a series of like what I would call cinematic or art house or type movies. We got Dr. T and the Women. I'm a huge Robert Altman fan. Then we also got Synecdoche, New York, which is a movie I'm very fond of. It's heartbreaking. It's not very approachable, and yet I adore it. It's very stressful, and it's very sad. If you can accept it on its terms, it's got a lot to say about like life. And then we have Mumford, bought on the strength of not only a pretty stacked cast, but it's a film made by Lawrence Kasdan, who he does some great work. He's only made a handful of films in his long career, but if you look them up, there's a lot of heavy hitters. Last but not least, I got some comedies and comedy horror. Road Trip Beer Pong. Usually wouldn't give a shit about a road trip or, for that matter, an American Pie made for TV spinoff. However, this one not only has DJ Quayles, but in addition to that, it has Danny Pudi from Community. Sometimes that's enough for me. So thirsty for Community content. I will watch stuff starring people from Community, and I love DJ Quayles. It's Road Trip Beer Pong, the unrated edition. Sink it and drink it. Get your pong on. A lot of special features. A lot. These were DVDs that I was really stoked to get, and I think these are like some of the best DVDs that I bought. Idle Hands, Devon Sawa, along with Seth Green. That late 90s horror vibe where it's a bunch of, Gen X teenagers. It's pretty cool. Bedazzled. This was directed by Harold Ramis. It's a personal favorite. It's not perfect, and I've never seen the original. However, to me, it's one of the greatest of that run of Brendan Fraser's work, along with Blast from the Past, The Mummy, Gods and Monsters. He was crushing it. Really fun. And Elizabeth Hurley as the devil is just sensational. I'm sure. Let's see, did somebody say it? No, but US Weekly said that it is hell-aciously funny, so possibly the coolest. I was so excited to find this. It's not an easy movie to find. We got Monkey Bone, another Brendan Fraser flick. This one, a fever dream of a film that I think people would just have to see in order to believe. Monkey Bone is based on a pretty obscure graphic novel. It's an adaptation of that novel by none other than Henry Selick, the man who made Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a ridiculous movie with a gross out slapstick live action plot coupled with a stop motion hybrid live action like Netherworld. Really reflects the aimless quality that post Y2K films kind of had for a short while. It's like creatives were struggling. And yet this is such a creative, ridiculous movie. It's worth seeing. It's kind of like Cool World, which also did not do well. So it's like everybody wants to be Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and nobody gets to be that but Roger Rabbit. And They try. It's got like 11 deleted scenes, an alternate ending, director's commentary, animation studies. Amazing. Really cool find. Okay, so those are all the DVDs.